roughly 87 hours from departure, and tools is the topic of the day. This red bag is what's always in the truck with me. Saved my butt quite a few times. And how I developed this bag is anytime I worked on the Jeep for anything, suspension lift, fluids, any type of maintenance on the JK, and before I got the Gladiator, and even back to basically what I did was anytime I was working on a Jeep, if I had to go into my toolbox, well, I'd work out of the bag, and if I had to go into my toolbox or something, I would either replace what was in my toolbox, or that tool would just move into this bag and just live there. So this bag is basically a culmination of many years of working on Jeeps and the absolute bare minimum of what I need to keep this thing running. And it's pretty damn heavy. But King of the Hammers is a little different. It's a little rougher, a little more extreme, and there's a lot of stuff that I'm not used to working on that I may need the tools for. So I'm going to go through this, make sure it's nice and tidy. Everything's where I want it, make sure nothing's gone awry since the last time I really used it. And then all my other specialty tools are going to go into here. This bag needs to come along. Heat shrink, butt splices, gauges. I'll put all my tools off the outside. This is my wiring bag. So anything I ever need for wiring is in here. Extra solenoid just in case. Solenoid harness. I've never really used any of the harnesses that like light bars and other switches ship with. I usually end up just gutting them. All of this came from the ARB compressor install, and all spare wires and butt connectors if I need it. So I tend to gut these things and use the wire when I need them. Probably won't go to waste, but this time, since this has extra fuses, switches, all sorts of stuff, I'm going to bring it just on the off chance that I need a piece of wire for something. And this is actually some pretty good quality wire, lots of good connectors on it. I can mate things up if I have to. Yeah. See, on this side I can actually turn this piece into a harness as itself if I ever need to jump or anything, because I've got the connectors on one side and then one it connects into on this side. So that can be made into a jumper pretty quick. Some extra 10 gauge wire. Might not need it, but I can always put it back on the shelf. See what it looks like in here. Always have a big bag. Never hurts to have it. Must have. Must have. Always handy. Okay, so because these things suck so much, these little holders, I just went to bags. I got one metric, one standard. And I got this pretty decent tire repair kit. You can tell it's never been used. just under 60 hours from departure, and it kind of looks like I'm going a little crazy. It's because I'm trying to make sure I don't forget anything, and my mind's a million miles an hour. I think I've got everything ready. Just got to pack my clothes. Tools all accounted for. They just need to be loaded in the trailer. You'll notice I've moved the trailer indoors, let it defrost a little bit. We got a little bit of snow on it the other day. My water jugs are inside. They're going to be filling up shortly. Cooler's prepped. Fuel cans are prepped. I got to go get the rest of the bedding I need to put in here. That's a spare bedding for Keith and Cody. They're gearing up now too, but they're both in Georgia. So they're going to be flying into Vegas. A couple hours after I pass through Vegas, they're grabbing a rental car out to the lake bed, and then we'll all pile in the Gladiator for any work stuff we need to do. Other than that, I just got to finish putting everything in, go through my checklist, pack my own clothes, and get on the road. So, yeah, let's put some tools in the trailer. Brief update. We are 35-ish hours from departure. I've got most everything loaded. Just my gear, my bags, race suits in, helmets in, all that kind of stuff in. It's just going to be my underoos and stuff that need to go in next, and provisions, food. That's where I'm headed now. One of the best things Walmart has ever done is their grocery pickup. So, with the help of Miss Inderland, we have come up with a meal plan to feed the crew. It's expensive, but it should feed us for most of the time we're down there. We should have plenty of food to feed me and Keith, Cody, Chris, and probably Mike for all the time that we're there. Keith says he's going to be El Cheferino for the trip. I'm going to let him do it. I'll make coffee, he can cook food. Works for me. Today I will be grabbing food, and then we're on into tomorrow. So really, I only have about 15 hours of usable time left between now and departure. Morning.
See, it looked like they had some substitutes for you. Okay.
too. So that's a mess of stuff. We're gonna have to consolidate, see what actually needs to go in the fridge, because I think there's a bunch of shit in here that doesn't need to be in. But other than that, there's all our food. So, bunch here.
bread in on your side.
That was a lot more stuff than I thought it was going to be. That is a metric ton of food, and probably the largest order we've ever put in at a grocery pickup. I don't think we've ever broke the $300 mark before. But feed a bunch of full-grown men for 9 days, it's expensive. So, back to the house. Let's see what I can do to organize some of this crap. Not too many hours left before we head out. This will be the last update before we head out. Sun's starting to peek out. Still cold. Roads look like they're drying up. We had a little bit of snow last night, not enough to matter. And looking at the weather between here and Johnson Valley, I should be no issues with weather, other than right as we're getting there, the weather watch for gusts up to 70-mile-an-hour winds are starting to die off. But hopefully that's done by the time I get there, and hopefully all of Hammertown's still standing. We've made it all the way through the checklist. Highly recommend using Google Keep for your checklists. The only thing left on ours, let's turn the brightness up so I can see a little better. I have to fill our 20-pound propane tank, make sure my laptop, this camera, and everything else is in. So yeah, we're done. I've got 142 checked items completed. And what I do is just every time I think of something that needs to be done, I just add it to that real quick. So right now we're gonna go fill up a 20-pound propane tank at our local Tractor Supply. And the reason we're doing that is I have one of those torpedo heaters, a little small jobby here. I'll show you a video of it. And this is the inside of the trailer. Everything's packed. 20-pound tank will fit right there. I'm not going to drag the trailer over to Tractor Supply. I'm just going to toss it in the back of the truck and go get it filled. But once that's done, close this up, drop the awning, and then we will be back to ready to go, or 100% ready to go. Truck's completely loaded. All my gear bags, race suit, helmet, tablet, goggles, hats, face shields, whole shebang. Got chairs for me, Keith, and Cody. Bedding for me, Keith, and Cody. Tables, food. Man, do we got a ton of food. All my recovery gear's in here. Tools are set up. And man, do I have a ton of tools. That is mostly tools and a couple sleeping bags. But so yeah, can close this one up. I can get you guys good to look in here. Ran the charger on the truck, so my main battery and the lithium power pack are completely charged up. That's not something you necessarily need to do, but I like leaving when it says 100% on it. So everything's done in this door. Back here, we are all set up. You can get back to the tray up in there. In the back, I got my race suit, some spare boots, helmet, gloves, everything I need to get through tech inspection. Here's all our food. We are absolutely loaded to the brim on food. Love it. Oh, it smells good in there. I pre-made bacon so we can have it for sandwiches. Nothing like a nice bacon turkey ranch sandwich on the trail. So we may be roughing it, but we're not roughing it that bad. Close that up. Click, send her back. Then we got dry goods in there, dry goods in there. Let's go around the side. Let's make sure everything's secure in here. Pretty sure it is. Yeah, we're good. Everything's set up. Got my new Stanley French press. That'll be good to use that. Spectrum oil, coffee grinder, coffee cups, spatulas and stuff. Plenty of olive oil, scrubbing pads, soap, utensils. We're good. We can live out of here, which is kind of the idea. It's going to be me and Keith for the majority of the time. Cody is coming in for our race. He's going to be running pit crew with us for the 4900 race. but then he's got to run back to Georgia. He's got work to do. But that's the brakes. We're gonna throw this 20-pound propane tank in and go get her filled. All right, we're gonna try out this new camera angle. Got it set to the wide field of view so you can see as much of the cab as possible. Sits. This is how the cockpit's gonna look. Don't know how much you can see with the mirror being right there. I'll give you an idea kind of what I see. And on the way to fill the propane, got a new patch in the mail. I don't even remember which one I bought. Let's check it out. Alright, that's cool. Campfire Coffee Club. There's a good place for that one. Right there. A couple things I've changed here. This is now a magnet. Still talk to it pretty easy, and then click right back on there. I like that feature. I think I need to change my color though. I can't hardly read that in the daytime. I mean, I can read it if I take my sunglasses off, I guess. I think it's not too bad. Yeah, so all set up there, set up here. Hopefully that video looks pretty good. So yeah, 20-pound propane tank, hang out with my kids, and then haul ass to Johnson Valley. Alright, we have 20 pounds of propane in the back of the truck. I'm going to drop it into the trailer, connect the trailer, and then adios Utah, hola King of the Hammers. You probably won't hear a lot from me until after the race because there's hardly any data connection out there. So this update video will have to suffice until the end of the Hammers. Alright. Be sure to follow us on Instagram and Facebook. If I can get anything out, it'll be on those. Also follow Hunker Down Racing. That's our racing team's name. And we will be on course Saturday as the third car off the line in the 2 o'clock hour. That is Pacific time out there in California. And then Sunday we start at 8 a.m. I believe. So if I don't see you on the lake bed, be sure to enjoy this video and then follow Ultra 4 Racing, and you can stream all the racing live there, and I'll have some content afterwards from our trip to the Hammers. But thanks for watching.